If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe. It's completely free. You've just got to click the button below. Building kitchens is not all about cabinets, dishwashers and sinks. In a space as tiny and as quirky as this one in our little stone house, it's important to really let creativity drive.
Like if we cut a hole in the roof, we could just have this thing.
And think outside the box. Our two biggest challenges with this project are space and light. And today we're tackling both of them by letting our imaginations run wild. And the results, I think, are pretty one of a kind.
Alright, Tara has tasked me with getting the oven fitted by the end of today. That's quite a lot to do in one day, but I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to slide it in a little bit later, fingers crossed. Before that happens, I've got to do some electrical wiring inside this cabinet. Very simple circuit from a spur that the electrician, when he came, left me to wire off of. So I put in place here a little switch, first of all, and the plan is to put these very small lights in a shelf here. So ultimately what we're looking at is a shelf that's about 1 metre long, first of all, right here, and then up here, a longer shelf that runs almost all the way along so that we can put stuff on top of it. In fact, if we can make it run all the way along, that might be a really great plan. But first things first, I want to put a shelf in just around about here that's about 1 metre long. Let's go ahead and build a shelf, shall we? Okay. All right, I've got these oak boards. I'm going to stick with oak just because we've got the colours going on at the moment with it. What I'm going to do, first of all, is just have a quick look at which board has the nicest front. This one's got a lovely front here. That's a 40 centimetre wide board. Going to go and check what width we want. All right, so the shelf that we've got in the other kitchen, that's 22 centimeters wide, which is a bit frustrating because, yeah, okay, good. I know what I'm doing, sort of. Okay, 2 boards cut at 20 centimeters. Pretty good shelf, start of a shelf there. Gonna go and get that light. So this is gonna need to fit inside of that, which it does nicely. And then we're gonna wanna have a hole as well. It's gonna be pretty hectic trying to get everything fitted into that shelf, but I think we'll be able to do it. This is tricky, folks. I'm gonna go and measure. So if we're putting a shelf at this height here, the first shelf, we could have it to the end of the sink. I think that's going to be too hectic over the tap, you know. And then the second shelf can be longer. So let me go and get Tara, she knows, she's the boss. Tara, I'm thinking about the shelves here. Okay. The first shelf, I think, should be, because we don't want to crowd the tap. Okay. I think it needs to go about that height. Yeah. And I think it should be 90 centimetres long.
Okay, so that's for nuts and seeds and small
pots. And then the next shelf, a lot longer, bigger at the top.
Okay, that's quite high. I only need a stool. I can reach that. Okay. But if you put it higher, try. That's quite high. But I can manage, but it is high.
So let's put the first shelf in, shall we? And I'm going to make it 90 centimetres long.
Okay, are you using those brackets with the suns?
Yeah, I will. Actually, what I'll do is I'll make it the same length as the kitchen sink, 87 centimetres, like that. Okay. 87, yeah, right there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, these.
Strolling far from home and rising, looking like a sunset dream.
Okay. Here are those lights. They're pretty funky lights because they're very low energy and they're quite bright, but what I don't like about them is these big boxes that come along with them. It's going to be really hard to get those in a location, so cutting them to size. 1, 2, like that, approximately 10.
So we already have 2 of these on the shelf in the current kitchen, which we'll move across, but we bought 4. So yeah, perfect. Okay, that's good.
So we'll probably want to put those in a little bit, won't we?
Yeah, I was just checking the length of them.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, so then the lights, maybe they need to be 1 here and then 1 here.
Are you putting the lights only on this bottom shelf, maybe?
Yeah, or is it just 1 light on the bottom shelf here?
1 light on the top shelf, maybe?
1 light on the top shelf.
That could make it really interesting.
1 light on the bottom and then maybe 2 lights on the top.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, so we put 1 light in the middle here.
Okay.
Let's get this 1 shelf up first and see how we get along with it.
Like a postcard scene, 'cause it's just us two, dancing with the moon, my arms wrapped around you.
Right, you lovely lot. I've got another link for you from your favourite ever sponsor, Craftsy. I love it when we share these because you guys tell me with such excitement that you managed to grab the deal. Now, the deal is that the first 1,000 of you to click on the link in our video description will get a premium membership to Craftsy for a full year for just $1.49. It's epic. Now, Craftsy is your one-stop shop for all things creative, DIY, learning new skills. It's a membership platform with over 2,000 classes covering more than 20 different topics, from things like knitting, which I've been trying my hand at, crochet, sewing, embroidery, cooking. There's some amazing recipes I cannot wait to get going with, and I'm really excited to start an artisanal bread making course. They are all put together by award-winning qualified instructors that you can do it at your own pace, in your own time. There's follow-along classes, there's lots and lots of tips and tricks, and just such a fun community learning environment. I love it. I know that you guys love it. So be one of those first 1,000. Hit that link below. A full premium membership to Craftsy for just $1.49 for an entire year. Don't hang around.
So I picked up this really cheap router a year ago. Haven't really used it, and I don't have very much experience in using routers. But this does seem like it might be the perfect place to be using one. Definitely, there you go, the spanner. I definitely get the sense that if I could learn how to use a router, that, you know, life could become a bit more creative, and I might be able to be, I don't know, well, a bit more creative, make more interesting projects. But for now, I just, like I say, I've never really, that's a nice bit, never really used one, so I don't really know how to use them, you know. So anyway, that's pretty successful. All right. Let's see. Perfect. Really pleased with that. All right, let's go and test it, see whether it works. Okay, I just used a router. I've never used one of those before.
Nice.
So now the question is, what we've got here is a light inside 2 pieces of wood sandwiched, but we definitely want to be able to open that up if we need to. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 4 screws in it and then plane it, then take it to pieces, wire it up and then put it back again. I'm pleased with that colour, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
To make it all flat. Look at that, that's great, isn't it? Very pleased with that. You know, with all of these projects, Crusoe's got his harmonica out over there. With all of these projects, it's all about learning a little bit and making a whole bunch of mistakes, like we've talked about. Actually, Sawyer. You know, I'm so comfortable with that ideology of learning that, you know, as long as it's not life-threatening, I think we should all have a good crack at it.
I think I'm going to get Sawyer to sleep and then come back for coat number 2 and then coat number 3, and hopefully by the end of today, this is all painted, the shelves are up and we're kind of looking towards doors and drawers. Currently we're living between 2 kitchens. I have a working sink and well, not even a working sink actually, I've got a working stovetop in here, but nothing else. So I cook in here, carry everything back over to the other, so first of all we prep in the other kitchen, bring it here, cook. Carry it all back over to the other house to wash up in the upstairs bathroom. And everything is scattered. I've got no drawers and cupboards in the other kitchen anymore. They're all kind of coming to pieces as John uses bits and pieces of them. It's just, you know, it's not a hardship. It's just one of those like annoying phases of a build where things are all over the place and a bit messy, and it's quite, for somebody who really likes everything to be in its place, it gets a bit tricky. So I'm really, really, really grateful that John's giving this so much focus and we're pushing ahead, because the sooner it's finished, the sooner we can move in and settle in and have our little house complete. I reckon we're probably about a week away. Let's see.
We've got these beautiful old tiles that haven't been disturbed in so long, and I want to put holes in them. So it's like, okay, but I got to do it because otherwise it won't go. So I'm going to try and put the holes inside the grout, and hopefully they don't shatter and break, and we'll see how it goes. But gently, gently, softly, softly, I think is the way forward. I got these glass cutting drills to start off with, I think. Yeah, there you go. I've just broken through the surface. Real easy with those. You can probably see how nervous I am about doing that. So we released that newsletter, or we've been releasing regular newsletters the last few weeks. If you haven't signed up already, please do. There's a QR code now on your screen. We are doing lots of things with that newsletter. The most important thing, I think, for me, not the most important, but the most exciting, interesting thing for me was that we decided that we were getting a whole bunch of questions from you guys just regularly about, all sorts of things, what we get up to on the farm, how life is, why is a farm called a farm when there's no really animals on it. stuff like that. So we decided that in that newsletter, sorry, I'm looking for a screw down here, that we'd be answering a whole bunch of your questions in that. Let's put a cable in it, wire it out, and see what it looks like. That looks really great, doesn't it? Nice and solid. Tara's going to be able to work wonders with the jars there, and then we're going to want to put another one just above it. So, we've got that old wall plug up there. Thing about that is maybe we can put the other shelf over those old wall plugs so we don't see them anymore. The reason why I'm putting up the shelf today instead of working on things that maybe like cabinets and cupboard doors is if I can get everything here so that Tara's got some storage space, she can move things across and I can put cupboard doors on as and when at a little bit later date. It's it's sort of taking the pressure off just a little bit. Which is what I really need at the moment because there's so many things going on in the farm at the moment. As you guys know, we are currently putting together a bio pool as well. We're not filming very much of it, simply because we just can't be in two places at once, and Carlos is down there at the moment, and Joao.
That looks very atmospheric.
You like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
That is so cool though.
Yeah.
Well, John is fiddling with shelves. The chaps down at the bio pool have all gone off for lunch, so I thought I'd take us all for a walk down there and go and update you with what's going on and where we've got to with that build. It's been pretty monumental. I think...
That's my seat, Mum. Watch this.
That's your seat.
Watch.
I think Mario has done about, 10 deliveries of sand and cement in his tipper truck. The other night I was putting the boys to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I heard his tipper truck rumbling through the courtyard. Because when the guys come in the morning, of course they need all of the materials to be here. So yeah, oh my gosh, look at this pile of cement sacks. Wowzers. Okay, so what's been going on? Let's have a look. Wow, that is epic. I haven't actually been down here for a couple of days, I'm going to be honest. That's quite something. We have a bio pool. It's huge. We could do lengths in it. That's amazing. So we're following David Pagan Butler's methodology and ways of building these pools. He has an amazing YouTube channel. He also has tons of resources online. We actually bought his ebook to learn all about it. So it's a really fascinating process and I have loved learning about it. The most important question I suppose you may have about why we've built the pool like this is why have we used concrete and cement? Why wouldn't you just leave put the liner into a depression and not use so much of this material, which obviously isn't ideal for the environment. But the truth of the matter is this field down here gets really, really wet in the winter. And if you don't have a base below your liner in a situation where you've got a lot of groundwater, the liner can lift and pop and get all twisted up, and then it could tear, and that's the end of your pond or the end of your pool. So it's definitely the right thing to have done, to have put the concrete down and to build up the walls. The walls are also supporting the weight of the water rather than it being supported just by the bank at the end there, which is not the biggest or widest bank out there. So we wanted to have that double layer of support. And then the design is really, really interesting. So let me talk you through a little bit of what will happen next. Okay, so here we have our concrete pool and brick pool. And what we'll do next is, once the guys are finished, I think they're just putting one more layer of bricks on. And then we're going to top it with a layer of wood. Now, don't forget, when wood is underwater, there's no oxidation, and so the wood doesn't rot, so it will be fine. We then will get our big fancy liner, and we'll put first of all a layer of felt, then the liner, and the felt protects the liner, and then we put another layer of felt around the outside of the pool. which is what is known as the regeneration zone. And the regeneration zone is where you have all of your drainage pipes, your pipe work, and your gravel, and also the plants who keep the pool clean. The whole idea with these pools is that instead of using chemicals, you use the natural way of nature to keep the water clean, because the plants take out all of the nutrients from the water, and the nutrients are what things like algae need to bloom. And so if there's no nutrients in the water, if they've all been used by beautiful aquatic plants, algae doesn't bloom and your water stays beautiful and clean and clear. And David actually drinks the water from his. So it's a pretty magical kind of process. So once we've put the liner in, we'll then need a whole load of gravel, and then a layer of sand and gravel, as well as another layer of felt in between all of those. And inside that gravel, we'll lay some perforated land drain pipes. Those pipes will connect to some pipes that are inside the pool that are fitted with air stones, and they will make a flow of water and also a series of bubbles and bubble pumps, and we'll need to attach a compressor that will run the bubble pumps, and that keeps the water filtrating and flowing and moving through the water column. So yeah, fascinating process. So we need to still get all of the pipe work and stuff that we're going to need. I don't actually know where we're going to get it in Portugal, but that's my next task. And get all of that ordered and sourced, and then we can fit it in while we are building. And yeah, wow, it's pretty epic. I can't believe we're actually doing it. And I'm so excited to imagine that maybe next summer we have a wooden deck coming out the front here into the pool, and I can dive in and swim on the hot days. And there's all sorts of things you've got to keep in mind. You know, we're going to also need to build a big trench to stop overland water flowing into the pool in the winter when there's so much water down here. You don't want overland water going in because it brings chemicals from the topsoil. It also brings nutrients, and you may overload the nutrient load so the plants cannot keep up with taking it out of the water, and then you run into all sorts of problems. We're going to have to keep it very clear of leaves when autumn comes and all the leaves drop off the trees. And yeah, it's just going to be, it's going to be a baby that we're going to have to look after. But I think it's going to be so worth it. Obviously as well, the ultimate aim for this space is also for an emergency water store for the farm. So we will also be installing a series of pipes and pumps from here across the farm, so that if we do run out of water from our off-grid sources, this is a backup and we can tap into this and use some of it. Also, interestingly, I know John was talking a couple of episodes ago about moving the fish in here. Can't be doing that. Fish can't go into natural pools because they eat the little creatures that eat the algae. So if you don't have those, you're going to get algae and you'll be causing yourself a bit of a problem. So fish will have to find a different home for. Oh, and don't forget, on the way back up here, this is where... that's the road back up to the house and to the farm and the orchard. There's the chicken coop up there. And this is where we're going to put the steps coming down from the top. A nice big stone staircase that brings us down to the biopool so that we do actually use it. This is my life, folks. Look at this. Mine's obviously the mess made by the boys, but I've got a pile of sawdust being created over here and a pile of sawdust being created over there. It's like Sawdust City.
To the compost. Yeah.
Carlos is cutting pieces of wood for the top of the biopool, so it's all go.
Okay, that's it. Simple circuit wired in. Let's go switch it on at the mains and see if it works. Yeah! Check that out, man. Wow, that's pretty fancy, isn't it? Love it. Take a step back. I'm going to take a bow for that one, Flex. Yes!
I can't wait any longer. She's got to find her home right now. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You know there's a lot to do still.
Is this going to make it really messy? That's my only question.
No way, just give it a nice clean.
Oh, we have got so much going on, it is insane.
Bedlam,
I'm battling a little bit
Yeah.
today. And the technicians are here from the Wi-Fi company, and they're currently drilling a hole in the side of the extension to put the Wi-Fi through there.
They are.
I honestly, and it's time to start cooking dinner. Where am I supposed to do that?
Well, sort of between the two. The boys would be delighted with a burger. Yeah, right.
Where's it going? Above the sink? To the side?
I think there, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, sort of in between the lights. That's good.
The lights, okay.
Yeah.
Lined up with the tiles. Is that
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, that's good.
Happy?
Yeah, that looks great.
Look, we have a new kitchen. I tell you that wherever she goes, that's my kitchen. That's what my kitchen is.
Yeah.
She's my kitchen lady. Like she makes it feel like home. I'm so excited, love. Thank you. This is so beautiful.
It's coming along.
Now we just got to try and fit everything into it.
Exactly, yeah. Find a storage solution next.
Yep.
All right, okay. I have got a shelf to build.
We've got to clean this up. We've got the fridge coming tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
First things first, recipe books. My favourite thing, and I genuinely use them all the time.
I don't know where you came from, but this road is yours to trail. Made to mold.
Promise you're not going to make this
That's
I said no, that's not really the right word, but I don't know how else to describe it, darling. Jack of all trades. Master of some.
found the melody, the words to lift
Happy?
your soul. You were made with love. You were made with love. You were made with love for this world. Silence speaks under our feet. The roots signal across the land.